How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. I'll be your host on this CFL talk show, Hussey's Huddle. In this video, we preview and predict Week 10 of the 2022 CFL season. But really quickly before we get started, if you want to support the channel, as always, be sure to hit like and subscribe. And with that said, let's get started with today's video. So I'm running a little bit behind today in terms of getting this video out before the Thursday nighter here. So I'm going to go through these games a little bit quicker than I normally would so we can get this video out in time for you to see it before the first game of the week. So starting with the first game of the week, the Thursday nighter between the Montreal Elks and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, a rematch from last Thursday, with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers favored by 11.5 points here when I checked last night. And for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers in this one, they have the best start in franchise history on the line. I believe it would either tie or break the Winnipeg Blue Bombers all-time record for best start to start a season at 10-0. So a lot of history on the line for the Blue Bombers in this one. And then on the other side, the Alouettes have a chance to be the team that finally knocks the Winnipeg Blue Bombers off their perch. And honestly, nobody really expects Montreal to do that in this one. But some team is going to do it eventually, and I just have a feeling it's going to be one of these random teams in the CFL, not necessarily one of the top contenders to Winnipeg, that is going to be the one that eventually knocks them off. So it's going to be interesting to see if Montreal can keep it close like they did for most of last week's game. But this one is in Winnipeg, so I am going to take the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to win this game 33-19. And on the community tab, they also agree with that, with 84% of people taking Winnipeg to win this game. So those are my picks and the channel's pick this week. Next up, we have the Friday nighter between the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Toronto Argonauts from Tim Hortons Field. The line on this one is 2 points in favor of Hamilton the last time I checked, but it's more than likely have moved because of the injuries that have come out against Hamilton. Dane Evans, quarterback, likely not going to play in this one, so that could significantly shift the outcome of this game. For Toronto in this one, it's a very much a potential swing game for them. If they lose, the race for the first place in the East really does start to heat up. I think, they don't necessarily have as much as a lead that they used to have. They play Calgary next week, so if they lose to Hamilton this week, they could potentially be looking at an 0-2 week the next 2 weeks. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Toronto in this one, if they can put their foot on the gas and really take advantage of a very injured Tiger Cats team right now. And what defense steps up in this game? I think it's going to be a very defensive game. I think this is a game where the Tiger Cats defense can really assert their dominance like they have many times in the past few years here. But I also think Toronto's defense is playing really well right now, and I really don't like Matthew Schultz, the backup quarterback for Hamilton, going up against this really good Toronto defensive line in particular. So it's going to be very interesting. I expect a low-scoring game at Tim Hortons Field. I also expect a very close game where Hamilton's defense really steps up and, makes this a game, even though all the injuries to the offense and all the struggles they've had on that side of the ball. But ultimately, I'm going to go with Toronto to win this game, 19-17, an ugly game. But ultimately, I think Toronto gets it done. They're the healthier team right now. I like their offensive playmakers more, and I think they'll get it done at Tim Hortons Field on Friday. Now, on the community tab for this one, the fans are taking the Tiger Cats 57% of the time, so that's the channel's pick for this game this week. Now moving on to Saturday night's game, which many people have billed the game of the week between the BC Lions and the Calgary Stampeders, with the BC Lions favored by 2 points here on the TSN app. But otherwise, I think on other sports books, it actually has been Calgary that has been favored. So it's, seen as a very close game going into this week. And honestly, this is such a crucial game for the standings in terms of what it could mean for second place. Ultimately, if BC wins this game, they are effectively 3 games up on Calgary for that second spot in that home playoff game later on in the season. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Calgary can come away with a big signature victory that they've been searching for so far this season. They had a couple cracks at Winnipeg, fell short ultimately despite playing very well in those games. So it's going to be very interesting to see if Calgary can play well and if their defense can start to slow down this very hot offense in BC with Nathan Rourke, who's playing out of this world right now at an MLP level. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to go with BC to win this game 35-31. I think that both offenses ultimately show up. I think it lights a fire under Bo Levi Mitchell, and he puts up a better game than we've seen the past couple of weeks from him. Gets a couple of touchdown passes, but ultimately, I don't see anything slowing down this BC train right now. I mean, other than the Winnipeg Blue Bombers themselves, I think there's no team that's playing better in the Canadian Football League right now. Even though I had Calgary as my Grey Cup pick in the preseason, I just don't know if they have the firepower to match what BC has right now. And even though the game's in Calgary, I'm going to go with the Lions to win this one. And then on the community tab, the fans are taking the Lions as well, 62% of the time. So that is the channel's pick this week. And then the last game of the week, the Saskatchewan Roughriders visiting the Edmonton Elks on Saturday night, with the Roughriders favored by 5.5 points here. And for the Roughriders, they're looking to snap a 3-game losing streak. They went into the bye week last week. Hopefully they worked a couple of things out. They got a couple of guys back from injury. Pete Robertson, who was leading the league in sacks before his injury, will be back in the lineup this week. So great news there for the Riders. And then for Edmonton, they're looking to snap that atrocious home losing streak and get back into the thick of the playoff race here. If they win this game, then they have Ottawa, I believe, back-to-back the next couple of weeks. If they can win 3 games in a row, they are right in the thick of things in the playoff race in the West Division. So it's going to be a very interesting game. I went back and forth in this game, but ultimately, I'm going to go with the Elks to win this game. I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I think it's about time that they win a game at home, and, I just think that they've been competitive in most games that they played this year, except for the games against BC. They've been largely competitive, including the Week 2 game against Saskatchewan. So I think they finally get the home win in this one and tighten up the playoff race in the West Division. But on the community tab, the fans are going to take the Saskatchewan Roughriders 65% of the time. So that's the channel's pick for this game this week. But with that said, that is going to be the end of today's video, ladies and gentlemen, and I want to thank each and every one of you for watching. Once again, my name is Jason. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do it is by hitting the like button and subscribing to Aussie's Huddle for more CFL content just like this. Be sure to let me know in the comment section your picks for this week. And with that said, I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy the games this weekend, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.